rampage. Okay, we got to talk about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial that's going on. One of the final witnesses there was a video expert who said that Rittenhouse shot at others for 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Candace, why is this important?
This is really important because people need to know, in terms of the jury, they needed to know whether or not Kyle Rittenhouse was on some type of a shooting rampage that took place over a long period of time. What this video expert did was he really condensed the time to show that it was in 2 minutes and 55 seconds, which is a relatively short time. So this really plays in the hands of on the positive side for the defense, that perhaps he was acting in a way where inside of about 3 minutes, people were attacking him and that he was shooting in a very short period of time, as opposed to maybe walking around for 9 minutes. That would kind of lead you to believe that he had some preconceived notion or intent to do something, because if you're attacked for 9 minutes, that's a long time. But this was 3 minutes, seemed more reactionary. And I will say this, that the defense had a very good day. They've been having a couple of days. Listen, you and I have talked before, and you've asked about on the other case, do we have someone who claims self-defense? Do we get them on the stand? When he took the stand, even though he was a mess, he was also very strong on cross. He was very strong on direct. And I think that right now the prosecution is looking at changing some of the charges to lesser charges for the jury to consider, which leads me to believe that maybe even they are feeling a little wavering in terms of whether or not the other charges will stick. They now want to add lesser charges, and I think that will come because they don't think that the higher charges will actually stick. The defense certainly has had some good days.
Yeah, a lot of people feel like the prosecution dropped the ball here in this case. But, what's really stood out in this case in particular isn't just Rittenhouse taking a stand on Wednesday, but the reaction, the behavior, even before the trial began, of Judge Schroeder. I mean, yesterday, the insensitive comment. What do you make of, if you're in a courtroom and you got a judge like this, and I know he's the longest sitting judge, I believe, in the state of Wisconsin, and he's an old school guy, but what do you make of this guy?
Listen, judges run their courtrooms the way that they want. There were more than a couple of things, as you said, that he did that were so questionable. I mean, he clapped for a defense witness because he was a veteran. I mean, sure, give them praise, but you can't do that in the middle of a courtroom trial. That shows too much bias. When his phone rang, it rang a song that, dealt with the Republican Party. I mean, he had, issues and talking about the food and Chinese people. This is unacceptable. And if I were the prosecution, I would be setting up to determine how I could use this down the line if I needed to appeal. Let's get a new judge on this case, because there are a lot of things that he is saying that really is just biased, unfair, and prejudicial. But he can't be called out on it until after. He is the head person in that room. So if anything's going to happen, it's going to happen after the trial. Right now, they can't say to the judge, you need to recuse yourself. It can only happen after. And I would expect that this will be issued depending upon the outcome of this case, Mike.
So you're saying if he is found not guilty in this case, then the prosecution, what are their options in this case because of the judge and his behavior?
Oh, absolutely. What they can do is they can say that the judge was biased in this case, and to look at his behavior and bring up all of these things on appeal. A really good situation in terms of the prosecution if they don't like the outcome, because what the judge is doing in this courtroom, it is utterly ridiculous, and we don't see a lot of that. But again, we are, in the Midwest, it's how an older white gentleman might use the word colored himself and behind closed doors, right? So when we think about that, certainly the prosecution has the opportunity to make their case on appeal if it doesn't come out the way they want.
You think an older white gentleman, the worst word he's using is colored when it comes to black people behind closed doors? I mean, like, okay.
well, yeah, you never know. You never know.
I don't know. Not making any accusations. I'm just saying. But we're not going to be naive either. But Candace, we appreciate you. Thank you for checking in with us. Of course, we'll be checking in with you throughout the morning as the Ahmaud Arbery case continues. More testimony later on today.